It wasn't until I was in high school that I wrote a spoken word poem. The first time I heard that art form, I just thought it was so incredible. I said, I want to do that. I met the president, sat with him at a table too small to hold all the things that brought us there. His hands resting. Where are your chains? They told me your hands were tied. One of the earliest pieces that I wrote, it was called People Like Us, and it was about one of the first incidents that happened in Sudan that I saw also when I was about 7 years old. And to me, that poem encompasses my first encounter with the hidden truths that our parents tried to protect us from. Memories of my childhood live between the rings of sand around my ankles and the desert heat in my lungs. I still believe that nothing washes worry from tired skin better than the Nile and my grandma's hands. Every day, I go to school with the weight of dead neighbors on my shoulders. The first time I saw bomb smoke, it didn't wind and billow like the heat from the kitchen hearth, but it forced itself on the Darfur sky, smothering the sun with tears that it stole from our bodies. The worst thing about genocide isn't the hunger, the murder, the politics. It's the silence. I started writing poetry when I was 7 years old. My teacher said to me, a poem is something that rhymes about something that you care about. So my first poem went like this. Lions are light brown. I think they like to sit down. And when I went home, my parents said, you're a poet. It meant a lot to me because they were being very supportive. The reason that I decided that along with likeMEDIA to call this Refugee and nothing else is because a lot of people immediately think one thing or another when they hear that word or that name. And what I try to do is put faces back behind that and put people back behind it. My family left Sudan a long time ago for safety. So my journey as a refugee started there, and it ended in Yemen when we went to Yemen for safety, which is interesting. And after Yemen, we got the visa lottery. And so my journey as a refugee ended when I was 4, and my journey as a displaced person began. And ever since then, I've been displaced, which means there isn't really a feeling that I can really call home quite yet, except for that place that we left a very long time ago. One of my favorite poems is Mama. I wrote it about my mother, and she is a powerful and formidable woman who has influenced my life in a lot of different ways. And I wrote it about her in a time where she lost her mother. And to me, it was a tribute not just to my mother, but to all the matriarchs in my family. This poem speaks to just everything that I was taught growing up, but also to a lot of the things that we lost. And that's why I wrote it. So I'm walking down the street when a man stops me and says, "Hey, yo, sister, you from the motherland?" Because my skin is a shade too dark not to have come from foreign soil. Because this garment on my head screams Africa. Because my body is a beacon calling everyone to come flock to the motherland. I'm like, yeah, I'm from Sudan. Why? He said, yes, you is, because you got a little bit of flavor in you. Don't get me wrong. I'm just admiring what your mama gave you. Let me tell you something about my mama. She can reduce a man to tattered flesh without so much as blinking. Her words fester beneath your skin, and the whole time you won't be able to stop cradling her eyes, because my mama is a woman, flawless and formidable in the same step. Woman walks into a war zone and has warriors cowering at her feet. My mama holds all of us, in her face, in her body, in her blood, and blood is no good once you let it loose, so she always holds us close, keeping us safe from caving in. When I was 7, my mama cradled bullets in the billows of her robes. That same night, she came home and taught me how to get gunpowder out of cotton with a bar of soap. And years later, when the soldiers held her at gunpoint and asked her who she was, she said, "I am a woman. I am a daughter of Adam. Who the hell are you?" It felt like you didn't have to look very far to see that everyone felt the empathy in the room, because it was just so tangible. People were coming up to us afterwards saying, "We're so glad you did this. Wish we had more experiences like this and more time and more space." And that to me was exactly the goal, to to get people to broaden our horizons and to broaden our empathy and to respond with our humanity. So it made me just feel so fulfilled. I get so nervous.